Welcome to those who are joining us this Tuesday. Good to have you here. We're just going to wait another minute for more people to join in, and we will try to get started right around 12 o'clock or a little after. Welcome and happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I see it's kind of stopped, not anyone joining us, but there may be some few people late, but want to make sure that we use all the time that we can for Jacqueline's presentation. Welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. My name is Andrea Young. I'm ECAC parent educator and communications lead. And today I'm happy to have with us Jacqueline Bohealer, who is the project manager of Work Together NC. Today she's going to be talking about the transition to adulthood, which we were just saying is a very important topic and one that is kind of, even around this time, very people are very interested in learning more about that. So I want to go ahead and turn it over to Jacqueline, and she will tell you all about the transition to adulthood.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. As Andrea mentioned, I coordinate the Work Together NC project, which is a federally funded grant by the Administration for Community Living that was awarded to UNC Chapel Hill. However, this is very collaborative across many different organizations across North Carolina. So while Teach Autism Program is the backbone organization for the initiative, we closely collaborate with the Department of Health and Human Services, with smaller organizations like Gigi's Playhouse. ECAC has been a close partner of ours. So overall, our goal is to make the transition to adulthood an easier process for folks with intellectual developmental disabilities and their families through a couple different ways, which I'll go through today. But one of our goals is really breaking down the silos between organizations. If any of you have attempted to navigate the adult service system yet, you will notice that there's a lot of silos, and one person will tell you one thing, and then the same person or a different person from the same organization will tell you another thing, and just very complicated navigating Medicaid and Social Security and all the different services that are out there. So we're hoping to facilitate more collaboration across organizations to ultimately advance this common agenda, which is making the system easier to navigate so that folks can achieve all of their goals in their and whatever quality of life looks like for them, whether that's obtaining a job or going to continue their education after high school or participating in the community.
Jacqueline, we had a quick question for clarification from someone. They want to know, is it also for kids with autism?
Yeah, so autism is under the IDD umbrella. And IDD is pretty broad. So that includes like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, learning disabilities, and yes, autism, ADHD, all of that. So our resources, and honestly, I think the vast majority of the resources that I'm going to share about today are relevant for any child with a disability, even if it's not classified as IDD. So, okay. So one thing that we heard consistently from families in our initial needs assessment that we did was that they just feel really overwhelmed when it comes to finding information about the transition to adulthood and what opportunities are out there. So the first thing that we did was we developed a website that really serves as a one-stop hub for finding both resources and services rather than families having to go on a million different websites. And it just being a really confusing process. We wanted to create somewhat of like an Amazon for finding what you need when it comes to adulthood. While we cannot change some of the bigger systems like Medicaid funding, we want to spotlight and really amplify what already exists out there and make it easier to navigate. So I'm going to show you all how to navigate this site, and I hope that this will be useful. The first tab that I'll show you is the Find Services tab. So you can see here, there are different managed care organizations across the state. And these are kind of the overseeing entity of home and community-based services that many folks with IDD will qualify for in adulthood. So really the step one of accessing adult services is figuring out what your managed care organization is. And you can do so by looking at this chart here. So it's all based on what county you live in. So if you live in the Triangle area, then it's Alliance Health. If you live in, let's see, where's Mecklenburg? Okay, Mecklenburg is also Alliance Health. But yeah, you all can see and identify which MCO serves you based on your county. And then once you scroll down, you can filter through different adult services through either the statewide search, if you're open to traveling, or the regional search. So that's based on your managed care organization, which is kind of how all the funding flows. So let's say you are in the Alliance Health region and you are in Mecklenburg County and you are looking for employment services. Maybe your young adult is interested in finding a job, or maybe they already have a job, but they need a job coach. Then these are some of the organizations that you could contact for that. And again, just trying to make things as user-friendly as possible. When you click one of these listings, then it will say just kind of a quick glimpse description of what the service is and what the eligibility criteria is, as well as the cost and an email contact for that. And then you can see which counties it serves as well. And then if you want to find more information, then you just click the website and then it'll redirect you to an external site. But this way you can kind of just quickly vet through the different services to find what is going to be a good fit for your young adult and your family. And there's a lot of different topics here. So we've got social and recreational programs listed in different counties. We've got family support programs, advocacy services, transition planning services. So I definitely encourage you all to take a look at this and see if the service library will help you meet one of your needs. And then let's see, the next thing that I will show you all is the resource library. So resources we define as more tangible ways of accessing information. So rather than like a direct service where you're interacting with a human, this is more like YouTube videos about different topics or PDF toolkits, that type of thing. So we have organized resources based on audience. So let's say that you are a family member and you're interested in looking into higher education options for your young adult with, let's say, an intellectual disability. You'll see here, these are kind of our top pick resources. So there's Think College, which is an entity that is nationwide that oversees higher education programs that are called IPSC, or Inclusive Post-Secondary Education, at universities across the country. There's also resources on this site that Work Together NC has developed based on some gaps that we've identified. So this is our What's Next College Handbook. This is a really popular resource. You can click this and download it. And this is a really nice way of showing a self-advocate what their college options are. We compare university and community college programs. There's some self-assessments in here that helps a self-advocate make an informed decision around whether college is a good fit for them or not. And then there's some virtual tours. So we've got videos linked to all these different university programs in the state that admit people with intellectual disabilities, and then also community college programs that have some kind of focus on including people with IDD as well. So this is a nice resource walking through living options, internships, and all different aspects of college life beyond just taking classes. It walks through the admissions process, some financial aid resources for students with disabilities, etc. So that's just one example of the many different resources that are on this site. And you can also look at this full resource library. So if you click Find All Resources, it'll look similar to the service library, where you'll see all the different tags that you can use to filter. So you can filter by audience. So you click family, and maybe you're looking for podcasts. And you can see, let's see, maybe you're looking for advocacy podcasts, and here's 3 different podcasts. Or maybe you're looking for resources in Spanish, then you can sort by that. Maybe you're looking for information around guardianship. Then you can find a lot of helpful guides under that tag. But yeah, that is another way of us just trying to compile information and put it all in one place. That way you all don't have to go on a million different sites. So far I've covered the service library and the resource library, which are both on this tab at the top of the site, worktogethernc.com. The next thing I will go over is our action planning tool. So I'm actually going to play a video that walks through how to use the tool, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more. But essentially, this tool is designed to break down all of the key areas of transition, whether it's employment or post-secondary education, into checklists of very tangible steps that you and the individual and their support team can take in order to achieve their goals in any of these areas. So we've included all kinds of topics in here that are relevant to adulthood, including healthcare, adult services, so that's like Medicaid and SSI, transportation, IEP, best practices for the transition section. And again, it's all in a very tangible, actionable checklist format. So I will go ahead and play the video tutorial. Make sure I'm sharing my sound. Hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Bokeeler, and I'm the project coordinator of Work Together NC. I'm excited to share about the Action Plan tool on our website, which is designed to assist in planning for adulthood. Whether you are a person with an intellectual or developmental disability, an IEP team member, family member, or adult service provider. Let's check out the action plan page. On this page, you'll meet Trey, a person with a developmental disability who is transitioning to adulthood and figuring out their goals. So under each section, you'll find Trey's journey. Let's check out Trey's journey toward employment. Here, we can see examples of the different steps Trey is taking toward work readiness and finding a job. We hope that Trey's journey in all of the different areas of transition will be especially helpful as a tool for self-advocates to be able to see the perspective of a peer who may be going through similar things. Now, let's look at how to customize an action plan. There are 3 different buckets of action plans to look through. First, action plans related to what opportunities are available in adulthood. Next, action plans related to making sure the transition to adulthood goes smoothly. And finally, a few action plans related to self-advocacy and making choices. So let's say I'm an IEP team member who wants to support my student, Trey, and their family to pursue adult life opportunities. I can choose to either generate a custom plan for an individual topic by clicking one of these individual links, or I can group all 3 topics together by clicking this link. Right now, my student Trey's priority is post-secondary education, so I'm just going to select that plan for now. Now, I'm going to go through and select which items apply to the student I am supporting, based on what I know about their strengths, goals, and interests. And you'll see here that each item has a recommended age for when it should be completed, as well as who's responsible. Is it the IEP team who ultimately accomplishes the item, or is it a collaboration between the individual, the family, and others? All right, so I'm going through and checking off which ones are relevant and will support my student in reaching their post-secondary education goals. All right, so when I get to the end of the form, I will be able to add any other items that are personal to my student. So for Trey, I'll say tour App States Scholars with Diverse Abilities program, because I know that's a specific program that Trey is interested in. All right, so once I have finished the action plan, then I can go ahead and email it to either myself or the student or parents, whoever is most appropriate, and that's an optional step. And that will be automatically emailed. I also have the option to print this page. So you'll see here, I have a nice condensed, customized version of that original checklist that really focuses in on my needs and priorities, or the needs and priorities of my student. And we would really appreciate feedback on this process. So please take a few minutes if you can to leave feedback at this link, which is highlighted in yellow. This will help us continuously improve this tool and make it even more user-friendly and helpful. All right, so I do just want to reiterate that we truly are taking user feedback into consideration for this tool. We are actually about to publish a round of updates to the action planning tool based on feedback that we've received so far from those who have filled out that survey at the end. So I highly encourage, if any of you try out an action plan, to please fill out the survey at the end and let us know what your experience was, if it was helpful, or if there were any things that were confusing about it. We definitely want to know that. Okay, so this is the action planning tool. The social story piece of it, where you saw the character here, I definitely recommend this for self-advocates as a nice primer to setting goals and really understanding these different topic areas. And then the action plan tool, that is more of a checklist, is for a team to use together. So like an IEP team could use this as a reference, or a family member and a service provider could collaborate to accomplish these tasks. And you'll see that each item has the recommended age as well as who can help. And we hope that you all will also use these checklists to really hold systems accountable for what they should be doing. So if you see under the IEP action plan, for example, that there is something that should be happening at age 14 that isn't, because all these are based on state policy, then you can bring that up at your IEP team meeting and say, hey, this says that my student is supposed to have transition goals at age 14, and I don't see any transition goals in the IEP. This hopefully will empower you with information on what is supposed to be happening related to transition in the school system. Okay. And then if you go back to the home page, you can also find the other big aspect of the project, which is the employer alliance that we are developing. So we know that employment is one of the key predictors of quality of life for our folks with IDD. However, they do experience many barriers to competitive integrated employment. The current statistic is around 70% of working aged adults with IDD in North Carolina are unemployed. And for the most part, that's not due to lack of ability to work or desire to work, but more so just lack of employer understanding of how to support people with IDD in the workplace, and just a lot of bias and stigma around people with disabilities, especially if an employer doesn't have any kind of personal connection with or family member with a disability. So we are working to change that through employer education, as well as a recognition program for employers who really are going above and beyond and creating an inclusive workplace for people with IDD. So you'll see on this employer training page, we have developed a series of modules for employers on IDD inclusion and what are the benefits of hiring people with IDD. What are some of the most common accommodations folks may access in the workplace, allyship in the workplace. So that module is more targeted toward how coworkers can really understand and support their peers with disabilities. And then we connect each employer who joins this alliance with a supported employment provider organization so that they have a pipeline for job candidate recruitment, as well as an external resource that they can rely on as challenges arise. And once employers complete the training, then they receive this sticker for their storefront, which says IDD Inclusive Employer and has a neurodiversity icon on it. That way the public knows, this is a safe space for for me to apply or for my family member to apply. And you can also scroll down and see the full list of employers that have joined the Alliance. This is a relatively new program, so we've been doing this for about a year now. And we definitely appreciate help spreading the word about this initiative. You'll notice that the majority of employers listed are in the Triangle area, so we're gradually working our way to other areas of the state, and we just would really appreciate any networking that you all can do on behalf of us to show maybe your young adult is meaningfully employed somewhere and they should be recognized. Then you can send them this link, or if there are any places that you think would be receptive to taking this training, then send us the contact and we'd be happy to get them introduced to this program and meet with them if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop this link in the chat, that way you all can find it easily. And be sure to check back on this page because we do keep it updated as more and more employers are added to the Alliance. I think this is a good starting point for finding places to apply that will be equipped to not only hire, but also really provide appropriate supports and reasonable accommodations for people with IDD. And then finally, I just wanted to show you all the events calendar. So if you're interested in receiving continued updates about the Work Together and See project, I definitely recommend coming to one of our quarterly community meetings where we provide updates on all different aspects of the project and seek the community's feedback. So that the next one will be August 27th. You can register on our website. And then occasionally we do different events for employers that are educational, and those are always listed here as well. And then over on the community events tab, this is where different organizations will submit events to us that are relevant to the transition to adulthood. So you'll see ECAC has a parent training coming up, so we've listed that here. There's webinars on how to navigate Medicaid that are listed here from DHHS. So all kinds of ways of becoming informed when it comes to navigating the adult service system and kind of staying in the know, because it's a lot and we definitely recognize that. Yeah, so I think I want to leave the last 5 minutes to address any questions that you all have, or anything else that you'd like to hear about.
Yeah, that'd be great. If anyone has any questions for Jacqueline, you can unmute yourself or feel free to put them in the comments in the chat. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to launch a poll for everyone to complete. If you could do that, it just takes a couple seconds. The grants that we work on require that we report back to them that what we're doing is useful, relevant, and of high quality, and your feedback is greatly appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and launch that now.
Yeah, and I see there's a comment in the chat about someone's son working at Harris Teeter, and yes, that was a recent huge win for us. All 260 locations across the state are doing the training, so that's really exciting, and we're working on getting the stickers to them as well. So hopefully you'll soon see a neurodiversity sticker posted on your local Harris Teeter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Such a great job for people to have.
Yeah.
Thank you for filling out our evaluation. If anyone has a question, feel free to put it down. We will be sending out Jacqueline's presentation to everyone after this, along with their contact information, so that you can reach out with any questions that you might think of after we log off here. And I will also include the recording of this video, so you can look out for that in the next couple of days.
Yeah, and I just dropped our general email. Feel free to share my personal one as well. But if anyone has any services or programs that they know about that they notice are not on the website and should be, just send us the link and we'll make sure to get it on there. We're constantly adding more and more to the site, so having our community's input has really been helpful. Yes, we are slowly trying to get our way into the schools, although there's a lot of bureaucracy preventing us from doing so in some ways, but we're currently partnering with Chapel Hill Carborough schools and Guilford County schools to do some initial piloting of the tool to see really how it could fit in with the IEP process. So we're going to use that feedback that we're getting over the summer and in the fall and bring that to DPI and the other powers that be, and hopefully get into the school system on more of a systemic level. That's definitely the goal. I think that's the ultimate way that we're going to make this information equitably accessed, is if we can make it just like the common procedure within the public school system.
Okay, any other questions? We're almost at 12:30 here. I do want to let everyone know that next week, next Tuesday, our Tool Time Tuesday will be highlighting ECAC resources and tools. So pretty similar to Jacqueline's presentation, Mandy Sonnenberg will be going through the ECAC website in case you're not familiar with how to find all of our resources on there. So you'll be able to see and how see and find out how to find all of our resources that are offered. So please feel free to join us then. We would love to have you back. I'm making sure that none of these are questions, but some great possible future contacts. So that's great. Thank everyone for sharing.
Great. Well, thank you for
Awesome.
having me.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.